The entire process takes just a few minutes, and once established, the space retains its charge. The energetic field becomes stronger. Over weeks and months, you will notice that simply entering the space shifts your consciousness. You will feel calmer, more centered, more connected to the creative source. The space itself becomes an ally in your reality creation work. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. And yes, I've returned in the cowboy hat, back by popular demand. Today's episode is a sequel to our first episode that we did on the Golden Dawn. I had lots of requests, so people wanted to know more and go deeper on the Golden Dawn. So today, we're going to go over the Golden Dawn Playbook. Ancient magical techniques you can use to create your reality. In the last episode, we went deep into the history and philosophy of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. We explored its origins, its remarkable members, the Tree of Life, and how Israel Regardie, the man who published the entire Golden Dawn system, called Neville Goddard the most magical practitioner he had ever encountered. We talked about the Akashic memory of the ritual, the egregore, and the great work. Today we go further. Today, we open the actual playbook. I've spent years translating complex spiritual systems into techniques you can use immediately, techniques that produce measurable shifts in your consciousness and your external reality. And the Golden Dawn is one of the richest sources of practical spiritual technology ever assembled. The problem has always been accessibility. The original texts are dense, encoded in Victorian occult language, and assume a level of Kabbalistic knowledge that most people do not have. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk you through the core practices of the Golden Dawn system, the ones that Regardie said mattered above all others, the ones that Damien Echols used to survive death row, the ones that connect directly to the reality creation work we do every day on this channel. And I'm going to give them to you in a form you can start using today. No robes required, no temple required, just you, your imagination, and your willingness to step into the current. Let's begin. Every Golden Dawn ritual begins and ends with the Kabbalistic Cross. It takes less than 60 seconds, and it is one of the most powerful centering practices in the entire Western magical tradition. This single technique establishes your connection to the infinite, aligns you with the central axis of creation, and places you at the exact center of the universal forces. Here is exactly how to do it. Stand wherever you are. Your bedroom, your office, your living room, it makes no difference. The temple is your body and the space around it. You close your eyes, take a deep breath. Now imagine a beam of brilliant white light descending from an infinite height above you. The light represents the limitless light, the Ein Sof Hour, the source from which all things emerge. See it descending and gathering into a sphere of blazing brilliance directly above the crown of your head. Reach up with your right hand and touch your forehead. As you do, you draw that light into your head and vibrate the word Ate. This is Hebrew for thou art, or more accurately, to thee. You are acknowledging the divine presence above, and you are drawing it into your awareness. Now, draw your hand straight down to the center of your body, to your solar plexus, or lower abdomen. And as you do, you visualize the beam of light extending downward through your entire body and deep into the earth beneath you, and you vibrate Malkuth. This means the kingdom. You have established a vertical column of light from the infinite above to the physical earth below, running directly through the center of your being. Now you touch your right shoulder, visualize a sphere of light forming there, and vibrate Vegebura. This means and the power. Then touch your left shoulder, see another sphere of light, and vibrate Vegejula. This means and the glory. You've now established a horizontal bar of light across your shoulders, forming a cross with the vertical beam. Clasp your hands together at your chest and vibrate Leolam Amen. This means forever unto the ages. Feel the cross of light pulsing within and around you. You are standing at the intersection of the vertical and horizontal axes of the universe. You are the center. You are the point where heaven meets earth. You are the infinite meeting the finite, where the eternal enters time. This is your foundation. This is your alignment. And here is why this matters for reality creation. Every effective manifestation practice begins with establishing your identity as a creative center of consciousness. Neville Goddard taught that the fundamental act of creation is the declaration, I am. The Kabbalistic Cross does the same thing through movement, breath, visualization, and vibration. It places your awareness at the exact center of the cosmic architecture and declares your identity as a being through whom the infinite expresses itself into the finite. Do this every single morning before you begin your day. Do it every evening before sleep. Do it before any meditation, any visualization, any reality creation session. It takes 60 seconds and it fundamentally shifts the frequency from which you operate. The second technique is the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, which we've covered extensively. The LBRP is the single most important practice in the Golden Dawn system. Regardie said so explicitly. Damien Echols has built his entire foundational teaching around it. And once you understand what this ritual actually does, you will understand why serious practitioners have performed it daily for over a century. The LBRP, the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, accomplishes three things simultaneously. First, it clears your energetic space of any dissonant, unwanted, or stagnant influences. Second, it establishes a sacred container, a charged, protected space in which your creative work can unfold without interference. Third, and most importantly for reality creators, it trains your imagination. Every single element of this ritual, the pentagrams, the divine names, the archangels, requires you to build a vivid, sustained inner image and hold it with emotional conviction. This is the exact skill that Neville Goddard's method demands. The LBRP is imagination training disguised as ceremony. So you begin with the Kabbalistic Cross, Ate Malkuth Begebura Begejula Leolam Amen. Just as I described, now you walk to the eastern edge of your space. You can use your phone if you don't know what is east, but you go to the eastern edge of your space, or simply face east where you stand. Extend your right arm in front of you, and trace a large pentagram in the air. Begin at your left hip, draw up to a point above your head, down to your right hip, up to your left shoulder, across to your right shoulder, and back down to where you started. This pentagram, you see it blazing with electric blue fire, vivid and alive. You point to the center of the pentagram and vibrate the name Yod He Vav He. This is the great unpronounceable name of God, YHVH, the Tetragrammaton, representing the four elements and the four worlds of creation. As you vibrate it, see the pentagram pulse with increased brilliance. Feel the sound traveling outward from the center of your chest to the farthest reaches of the universe. Interesting side note, in the Law of One, Ra establishes a different name to add to it, Yod He Shin Vav He. And they give a full explanation of why. It's the newer energies. You can explore that in my episode on the Banishing Ritual. So you keep your arm extended, you turn clockwise to the south. As you turn, you visualize a line of white light connecting the center of the east pentagram to where you now stand. You trace another blazing pentagram and you vibrate Adonai, Lord, and connects you to the divine governance of the material world. Then you continue west. You can do this in a single place or you can walk around a circle. Vibrate Ehie, which is I am, the name God gives to Moses, the foundation of Neville Goddard's entire teaching, the creative principle itself, spoken into the western quarter of your temple. Then you turn to the north. You continue to draw the line. You trace the pentagram. You vibrate Agela. This is your Notarikon, an acronym formed from the Hebrew phrase meaning, Thou art great forever, O Lord. As you complete the circle by returning to face east, you should see yourself standing within a ring of white light connecting four blazing blue pentagrams at each cardinal direction. Now extend your arms to form a cross with your body and say, Before me, Raphael. And as you speak, you visualize this archangel Raphael standing before you in the east, a towering figure in robes of yellow and violet, carrying a caduceus, surrounded by the quality of air, the first light of morning, the freshness of a new beginning. You say, behind me, Gabriel. See the archangel of water in the west, robed in blues and oranges, holding a chalice surrounded by the deep energy of the ocean, the receptive power of the unconscious mind. Say on my right hand, Mikael. The archangel of fire appears in the south, blazing with red and gold, holding a flaming sword, radiating the energy of courage, will, and transformation. Say on my left hand, Uriel. The archangel of earth materializes in the north, robed in the colors of earth's citrine and olive and russet and black, solid and grounding, holding sheaves of wheat, representing manifestation completed. Then declare, for about me flames the pentagrams, and within me shines the six-rayed star. The final statement places you at the center of the forces you have invoked. The pentagrams guard the outer boundary, the six-rayed star, the hexagram, shines within your heart, representing the union of the macrocosm and the microcosm, as above, so below, as within, so without. Some in the group have noted that the six-rayed star is similar to the Merkaba, and that's how I imagine it. When I say shines the six-rayed star, I see my Merkaba in action. You close again with the Kabbalistic Cross. Ate Malkuth Vegebura Vegejula Leolam Amen. That is the complete Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram. It takes 5 minutes once you've learned it, and the Golden Dawn prescribed it as the single practice every student should perform daily without exception for the rest of their magical career. The recommendation is clear. Do this every day for 1 year before you add anything else. The results compound. The space you create becomes more charged with each performance. The archangelic presences become more vivid, more tangible, more real. And your capacity to build and sustain inner images, the foundational skill of all reality creation, starts to grow exponentially. The third technique is the middle pillar, becoming the tree of life. The Golden Dawn's fifth knowledge lecture gives explicit instructions for the middle pillar exercise, and Regardie wrote 2 entire books expanding on this single practice. He considered it the bridge between ceremonial magic and therapeutic healing. And for reality creators, it is pure gold. The middle pillar activates 5 energy centers along the central axis of your body, corresponding to the central column of the tree of life. Each center is associated with a divine name, a color, and a specific quality of consciousness. When you activate all 5 in sequence, you establish a circuit of divine energy flowing through your being that literally transforms your vibrational state. Here is the practice step by step. Stand comfortably, close your eyes, begin by imagining yourself standing between 2 great pillars, a black pillar on your right, a white pillar on your left. These are the pillars of severity and mercy, the fundamental polarity of the universe. You are the middle pillar, the reconciling force between them. Raise your awareness to the point just above the crown of your head, just above your cowboy hat. See a sphere of brilliant white light forming there, so bright, it is almost impossible to look at directly. This is your Kether center, your connection to the infinite, the point where the limitless light first concentrates into individual being. Take a deep breath and vibrate. Some people will repeat it over and over. Let the sound resonate through your entire body. Feel the sphere pulsing with each repetition. Vibrate the name 3 or 4 times, feeling the energy intensify with each breath. Now see a beam of white light descending from Kether sphere to the nape of your neck, where it forms a second sphere of lavender gray light. This is Da'ath, knowledge, the invisible Sephirah, that bridges the supernal realms and ordinary consciousness. It corresponds to the throat, to communication, to the power of the spoken word. You vibrate Yehovah Elohim. You feel this center activating, opening the channel between your highest awareness and your capacity to express it. The light descends further, flowing down to the center of your chest, where it forms a sphere of golden yellow radiance, warm and luminous, like a miniature sun burning in your heart. This is Tifereth, beauty and harmony. The center of your conscious self, the seat of your identity as an aware being. Vibrate Yehovah Eloah Vada'ath. This is the most important center for reality work, because Tifereth is the point where you will meet the descending light of the supernals. It is where intention is formed. It is where the imaginal act receives its charge of divine energy. Spend extra time here. Feel the warmth, the expansion, the sense of being simultaneously human and divine. Continue the descent. The golden light flows down to your pelvic region, where it forms a sphere of violet or purple light. This is Yesod, the foundation, the astral plane, the realm of subtle forms and templates upon which physical reality is built. You vibrate Shaddai El Chai. Some people just say Shaddai El Chai. Shaddai El Chai. Remember what we discussed in the previous episode on the Golden Dawn. Yesod is the blueprint level of reality. When you charge the center with divine energy, you're energizing the mechanism by which your inner image crystallizes into outer fact. This is where the imaginal technique operates. The feeling of the wish fulfilled, held in the drowsy state, impresses upon itself. Yesod level of consciousness then descends into physical manifestation. Now finally, the light descends to your feet and the ground beneath you, forming a sphere of rich, deep color, traditionally a combination of citrine, olive, russet, and black, representing the four elements unified in earth. This is Malkuth, the kingdom, your physical body and the material world. Vibrate Adonai Haaretz, Lord of the earth. You are grounding the entire column of divine light into physical reality. You are anchoring heaven into earth through the vehicle of your own body. Now comes the circulation. Once all 5 centers are activated, visualize the energy flowing in a continuous circuit. See it rising from Malkuth up through all the centers to Kether, then cascading down the left side of your body like a fountain of light, collecting at your feet, rising again through the centers, then reverse. See it flowing up the right side, over the crown, and down the left. You see it spiraling around you in a great helix, wrapping your entire body in circulating divine light. The Golden Dawn texts are clear about the power of this practice. They say that if you are about to meet someone who drains your energy, or if you need to help someone who is ill, you should perform the middle pillar exercise beforehand. They say that this exercise builds the aura into a visible, pulsing oval of light around the body, and they say you should practice it regularly and in silence for a year before you attempt to analyze or explain its effects. For reality creation, the middle pillar is your energetic charging station. Perform it before any visualization session. Perform it before sleep when you enter into the state akin to sleep, which is our portal for manifestation. The charged energy field you create through the middle pillar amplifies the power of every imaginal act you perform within it. You are operating from a fundamentally higher vibrational state, and from that state, your creative power is multiplied. The fourth technique is the vibratory formula, speaking reality into existence. The Golden Dawn placed enormous emphasis on the correct vibration of divine names, and I want to give you a practical technique for using it in your daily life, because it is one of the most direct methods for shifting your state of consciousness and altering the frequency from which you create. The instruction from the order is precise. Take a deep breath and vibrate the names inwardly with the outgoing breath, imagining that your voice travels out to the confines of the universe. The key words are inwardly and to the confines of the universe. This means the vibration begins in the core of your being and radiates outward infinitely. It fills every cell of your body, then expands beyond your body to fill all space. Here's a daily practice you can begin immediately. Choose one divine name. I recommend starting with Ehyeh, or I am, because it connects directly to the teachings we have with Neville Goddard or Joseph Murphy, to the burning bush revelation in Exodus, and to the fundamental creative principles of consciousness itself. Sit or stand comfortably. Take 3 deep breaths to center yourself. Then inhale fully, and on the exhale, vibrate Ehyeh, Ehyeh. Stretch the sound out. Feel it resonating in your chest, your throat, your skull. Feel it vibrating in your bones, and as you sustain the sound, imagine it expanding outward from the center of your heart, like a wave of light, first filling your body, then your room, then your city, then your country, then the entire planet, then the solar system, then outward to the farthest star, to the edge of the universe and beyond. Do this 3 times with the full attention and feeling. What you're doing is declaring your fundamental identity. You're vibrating the creative name of God through your entire being and out into the fabric of reality. In the Golden Dawn's understanding, this sound carried the accumulated charge of every practitioner who has ever vibrated it. The Akashic memory we discussed in the previous episode, you are accessing a current of spiritual power that stretches back through the Golden Dawn, through the Rosicrucians, through the Kabbalistic mystics, through the Hebrew prophets, all the way to the original utterances that brought the universe into being. You can also apply this technique to specific creative intentions after vibrating Ehyeh to establish your connection to the creative source. Enter the state of the wish fulfilled. The technique of feeling yourself into the desired reality, and from within that state, vibrate a name or word that encapsulates your intention. It could be a Hebrew divine name associated with the quality you're invoking. Shaddai, El Chai for vitality and creative power. Adonai for sovereignty over your world. Yehovah for the full expression of the 4 elements of manifestation. Or it could just be a single English word that captures the essence of what you're creating, which can work. Abundance, freedom, health, love. The vibration imprints the intention into the subtle fabric of reality with far greater force than silent thought alone. You are engaging your body, your breath, your voice, and your imagination simultaneously. The 5th technique, consecrating your reality creation space. The Golden Dawn taught that the physical space in which you perform magical work matters deeply. The symbols, objects, and energetic quality of your environment directly influences the effectiveness of your practice, and they provide a simple but powerful method for establishing and maintaining a consecrated working space. You do not need a dedicated temple room. Regardie himself worked in a space he described as barely larger than a long cupboard, about 10 feet by 6 or 7. You can work in your bedroom, your living room, a corner of your apartment. The space becomes sacred through the work you do in it. Here's the practical consecration method drawn from the Golden Dawn's own instructions, simplified for daily use. First, physically clean and organize the space. Remove clutter, clear a central area where you can stand and move freely. Place a small table in the center to serve as your altar. Cover it with clean cloth, white or black, according to your preference. On your altar, place 4 objects representing the 4 elements: a candle for fire, a cup or small bowl of water, incense or a feather for air, a stone crystal or a small dish of salt for earth. These are simplified versions of the Golden Dawn's 4 elemental weapons: the wand, the cup, the dagger, and the pentacle. Each object anchors a fundamental creative force in your space. Now perform the LBRP in this space. As you trace the pentagrams and vibrate the divine names, you are clearing the space of all previous energetic impressions and establishing it as a container for your creative work. The 4 archangels you invoke become the guardians of your temple. Follow the LBRP, the middle pillar, to charge yourself and by extension the space with divine energy. Then, take a moment to consecrate each of the 4 elemental objects. Hold the candle and say, "By the power of fire and the divine name Elohim, I consecrate the flame as a symbol of creative will in this space." Light the candle. Hold the cup of water and say, "By the power of water and the divine name El, I consecrate this cup as a symbol of the receptive imagination." Sprinkle a few drops of water on the altar. Light the incense and say, "By the power of air and the divine name Yehovah, or Jehovah, I consecrate this breath as a symbol of the focused mind." Let the smoke drift through the space. Touch the stone and say, "By the power of earth and the divine name Adonai, I consecrate this stone as a symbol of manifestation completed." The entire process takes just a few minutes, and once established, the space retains its charge. Every time you perform the LBRP and middle pillar in the same space, the energetic field becomes stronger. Over weeks and months, you will notice that simply entering the space shifts your consciousness. You will feel calmer, more centered, more connected to the creative source. The space itself becomes an ally in your reality creation work. Think of this as building your personal manifestation studio. Professional musicians do their best work in studios designed for acoustic excellence. You are designing an environment optimized for the acoustics of consciousness. The sixth technique, the God form assumption, stepping into your future self. Yes, I said that, stepping into your future self. This is where the Golden Dawn technique meets the most advanced reality creation work we do on this channel, and it is the practice that ties everything together. The Golden Dawn taught a technique called the assumption of God forms, in which the practitioner builds up an imaginal body of a deity around themselves until it feels tangible and real. The ritual for transformation preserved in the original manuscripts gives the instructions to formulate the desired form and to feel yourself actually in the shape desired. The text says the form should seem like a cloud of mist enveloping you, growing more and more solid until you can move through space entirely enshrouded by this new identity. I want you to take this technique and apply it directly to your future self. Here's the practice. Begin with the Kabbalistic Cross and the LBRP to establish your sacred space. Perform the middle pillar to charge yourself with divine energy. Then sit or stand comfortably and begin to build. See your future self standing before you. This is the version of you that has already achieved the reality you're creating. No limits. All your dreams come true. See this figure in complete detail. How do they stand? How do they dress? Do they wear a cowboy hat? What is the quality of their energy? What expression is on their face? See the confidence, the ease, the quiet power, the joy. Build this image with as much sensory detail as you can muster. Give it weight, texture, color, and dimension. Now, exactly as the Golden Dawn prescribed in their transformation ritual, begin to step into this form. Imagine moving forward until the imaginal body of your future self surrounds you like a garment. Feel it settling around you. Feel your posture shifting to match, your breathing change, the emotional signature of this future version of yourself becoming your present emotional state. From within this form, vibrate the name Ehie, which is I am. You are declaring your identity as this version of yourself. You are using the most ancient and powerful creative formula in the Western magical tradition to seal the transformation. Then speak from within this form as your future self. Declare what is true from this identity. I am abundant. I am free. I am healthy. I am creative. I am powerful. I am loved. Speak these declarations with the same vibratory technique the Golden Dawn used for divine names. Feel the words resonating through every cell, radiating outward to the confines of the universe. The Golden Dawn text instructs the practitioner to address the assumed form and command it to be open to the divine presence, the understanding and love of the supernals. Do this. Say to your future self, be thou open to the divine presence. Be thou filled with the wisdom and power of the infinite. Be thou a living expression of my highest truth. Then carry this form with you. The original ritual says to circumambulate the temple 3 times while completely enshrouded by the assumed form. You can do this by simply walking around your space or by going about your day while maintaining the inner feeling of being your future self. The goal is to sustain the identity long enough for it to imprint upon the Yesod level of consciousness, the astral template from which physical reality crystallizes. This is the technique used by Joseph Murphy and Neville Goddard, amplified by a ceremonial structure. You are combining the feeling of the wish fulfilled with the energetic charge of the LBRP in the middle pillar, the vibratory power of divine names, and the formal assumption of a new identity drawn from the oldest magical tradition in the West. The result is a practice of extraordinary potency. The 7th technique. Let me now give you a complete daily practice that synthesizes everything we have covered. This is the Golden Dawn Playbook reduced to its essential daily minimum, a practice you can maintain in 20 or 30 minutes that will progressively transform your consciousness and amplify your ability to create reality. Morning practice. Begin your day with the Kabbalistic Cross and the LBRP. This clears the residue of sleep and establishes your energetic field for the day. Follow immediately with the middle pillar to charge yourself with divine energy. Total time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if you're taking your time with it, 15 at most. Midday check-in. At some point during the middle of your day, pause for 60 seconds and perform the Kabbalistic Cross alone. This recenters you, reconnects you to the vertical axis of the infinite to finite and reminds your consciousness of its true position at the center of creation. You can do this sitting at your desk, standing in a hallway, or even mentally while commuting. Total time 1 minute. Now, if you don't want to say Hebrew names or divine names, find your own names, but the process is the key. Now, evening session, before sleep, perform the Kabbalistic Cross, the LBRP, and the middle pillar, then move into the God form assumption of your future self. Build the image, step into it, vibrate the divine names from within it. Declare your truth, then allow yourself to drift towards sleep while still held in the feeling of being your future self. This is the most powerful creative window of the day because the drowsy state between waking and sleeping, what is called the state akin to sleep, is the precise state in which the Yesod template is the most receptive to new impressions. Total time, 5 to 10 minutes. Before sleep, declare, as the very last thing before you fall asleep, vibrate Ehyeh once, or just I am, silently, feeling the sound resonating through your being. Then hold the single feeling, the core emotional signature of your future self, and allow sleep to take you. Total time, 30 seconds. This fourfold practice mirrors the Golden Dawn's own emphasis on regularity and consistency. They clearly state, this is not something that you just do once and then it's done. It builds up over time. A new layer of magic is added, a little bit more every day. The instruction given to new members was unambiguous. Practice in silence for a year before attempting to rationalize the effects. Trust the process, do the work, and let the results speak. The eighth technique is the Tattvic doorway, entering the elements. The Golden Dawn employed a technique called a Tattva vision, T-A-T-T-V-A. Work that is one of the most accessible and powerful methods for deepening clairvoyant imagination. The kind of vivid inner sight that makes all of reality creation work exponentially more effective. All it translates beautifully into a practice you can do at home with nothing more than a colored paper and your focused attention. The Tattvic symbols are 5 simple geometric shapes, each representing one of the elements: a yellow square for earth, a blue circle for water, a red triangle for fire, a silver crescent for air, and the black or indigo egg shape for spirit. These are derived from Hindu traditions and were adapted by the Golden Dawn into their elemental training. Here's the practice. Choose one of the Tattvic symbols to work with. Let us start with the yellow square of earth, since manifestation is the grounding of intention into material form. Draw or paint a yellow square about 3 inches across on a white background, place it at eye level, and stare at it steadily for about 30 seconds without blinking until you begin to see its complementary color shimmering around the edges. Now close your eyes. You'll see the after image of the symbol floating in your visual field, but in the contemporary color, the yellow square will appear violet or purple against the darkness of your closed eyelids. Hold your attention on this after image, and as it stabilizes, imagine it growing larger and larger until it becomes a doorway, a gateway big enough to step through. In your imagination, step through this doorway. What do you see on the other side? The Golden Dawn taught that each Tattvic symbol opens into an inner landscape corresponding to its element. The earth doorway may reveal mountains, caves, fertile valleys, crystalline structures, or vast underground halls. Let the landscape reveal itself to you. Don't force it. Simply observe, explore, and record what you experience. This practice develops several skills simultaneously. It trains sustained concentration, the ability to hold a single point of focus without wavering. It develops the imaginative faculty by requiring you to build and sustain vivid inner landscapes, and it opens a direct channel to the elemental forces that the Golden Dawn identified as the building blocks of manifest reality. The Golden Dawn was specific about discipline with this practice. Set a definite time, preferably in the morning. Do it once every few weeks to start, then weekly as your skill develops. Keep a journal of everything you see, and never allow the experience to become an uncontrolled daydream. Maintain awareness throughout. You are the explorer, the observer, the conscious presence moving through these inner worlds. That conscious presence is what makes this practice magical rather than merely imaginative. For reality creation, the Tattvic doorway practice is extraordinary because it teaches you to enter states of consciousness at will. Once you can open a doorway into the element of earth and explore its landscape, you can open a doorway into the state of wealth, the state of health, the state of creative freedom. The mechanism is identical. There's one more practice I want to give you because the Golden Dawn insisted upon it with ferocity that should tell you something about its importance. Every student was required to keep a detailed magical diary, a written record of every practice performed, every vision experienced, every result observed, and every thought or insight that arose in connection with the work. This is more than mere record keeping. The act of writing your experiences anchors them in physical reality. It bridges the gap between subtle inner world, where your creative work occurs, and the material world where results manifest. The journal is, in the Golden Dawn terms, your personal pentacle, the element of earth applied to your practice. It grounds what you would otherwise remain formless and fleeting. Begin a dedicated journal for your every reality creation work. After every session, every LBRP, middle pillar, just write down what you experienced. Note the date, the time, your emotional state. Be specific and honest. Don't embellish or don't dismiss. Over weeks and months, this journal will become one of your most valuable possessions. You'll begin to see patterns. You will notice which practices produce the most vivid shifts in your state. You will track the timeline between inner work and outer manifestation. You will develop a sophisticated understanding of your own consciousness that no teacher and no book can provide because it is based entirely on your direct experience. The Golden Dawn taught that the aspiring magician must catch himself weaving words, twisting their meaning, deceiving himself with them, and that through sustained self-observation he will begin to grasp the tremendous miracle of words, the magic both good and evil of human communication. Your journal is where this self-knowledge develops. It is where you learn to distinguish genuine inner experience from wishful fantasy. It is where you refine your practice through rough approximation into precision instrumentation. Regardie was emphatic. Keeping the journal combined with the middle pillar and the banishing ritual constitutes the minimum foundation for initiating your own journey into the light. Those are his words. I want to close with one of the most powerful teachings from the Golden Dawn's knowledge lectures because it summarizes the entire philosophy. The fourth knowledge lecture teaches, to obtain magical power, learn to control thought. Admit only true ideas which are in harmony with the end desired, and reject every stray and contradictory idea that presents itself. Fixed thought is a means to an end. Therefore, pay attention to the power of silent thought and meditation. The material act is but the outward expression of the thought. Thought, therefore, is the commencement of action, and if a chance thought can produce much effect, consider what fixed thought can accomplish. Let me say that again slowly. If a chance thought can produce much effect, consider what fixed thought can accomplish. This is the entire science of reality creation in just 2 sentences. The Golden Dawn understood over 100 years before the modern manifestation movement that thought is the commencement of action, that the material world is the outward expression of inner states, that the key to magical power is the disciplined control of attention and imagination. Neville Goddard said it differently. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and observe the route that your attention follows. Same principle, same technology. Every technique I've shared with you, the Kabbalistic Cross, the LBRP, the middle pillar, the Vibratory formula, the consecration of space, the God form assumption, the fourfold daily practice, all of them exist to develop your capacity for fixed thought. They train your attention, they strengthen your imagination, they teach you to hold a single state of consciousness with unwavering focus long enough for it to imprint upon the subtle template of reality and crystallize into physical fact. This is the magic that has always been the magic. The Golden Dawn built the elaborate ceremonial structure in the history of Western esotericism to teach people how to think with enough power and precision to reshape the world. And now you have the techniques, the full playbook, everything you need to begin. The fourth knowledge lecture ends with this instruction: establish thyself firmly in the equilibrium of forces in the center of the cross of the elements, that cross from whose center the creative word issued in the birth of the dawning universe. You are that center. You are the cross, and the creative word that issues from you shapes everything you touch. Go create. And when the results begin to appear, and they will, because these techniques have been producing results for practitioners across 3 centuries, remember what made them possible: fixed thought, controlled imagination, the deliberate assumption of states of consciousness, the vibratory power of the spoken word, and the courage to do the work consistently, day after day in silence, without needing to explain yourself or justify your practice to anyone. Now, this may not be for everyone, but I promised to extend this teaching to go deeper on the Golden Dawn. The Golden Dawn members took an oath of secrecy. You are taking a different kind of oath today, an oath of practice, an oath to yourself to show up every morning and every evening, to trace the pentagrams, to vibrate the names, to build the pillar through your body, to step into the form of your future. The future is available to you. The reality that you want to create is available to you, and all you have to do is step into it. Now, I want to invite you to join the Reality Revolution community. You can join us at school.com. It's in the description, where we have weekly group coaching sessions and we go deeper on these techniques and ideas. So I hope to meet you there and I can answer your questions. You can find the link in the description. I'm sending all my light and love to everyone that's listening, and welcome to the Reality Revolution. Hey, welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm Brian Scott. Over the last year, I've had the honor of hosting some amazing live in-person events, something I never thought that I would do. And I have grown and changed so much in these experiences. The opportunity to meet so many of you, to shake your hand, to hug you, to hear your stories, to watch the way that you grow, to see your changes, to get to know you. So many of you have followed my channel. It's been such an exciting experience. So when we were thinking about our next event, we decided we wanted to do something a little different. So many of you have found me through my teachings on money, on large sums of money, on the affirmations that I use. And so we brainstormed and came together with an amazing event. Over 3 days, we've planned out some of the most incredible meditative techniques, exercises, and teachings that I have ever done. 9 immersive meditations, all designed to shift you into the reality where large sums of money come to you easily and quickly. There is nothing I want more than for you to experience absolute prosperity. I want you to live a life where you are free to do what you want when you want. I want you to be able to choose when you wake up, when you go to sleep. I want you to lead a business that empowers you, that fulfills you. I want you to live a life where you choose where you live. You live in your dream home. You travel the world. I want all of this for you, and it's available to you. I believe when we come together at these events, magic happens. And so I want to have the opportunity to become a catalyst for you, to join me for 3 days so that we can manifest the most incredible life for you, one that makes you incredibly prosperous, where you tune into infinite streams of money. You walk through storms of money all around you. You experience it in every way, shape, and form. Large sums of money are coming to you. Join me in Austin on September 18th through the 20th at the Hyatt Regency. You can find the link in the description at www.brianscottlive.com/Austin-2026.